Good morning, CSL family. We're so glad you're here with us this morning. It's a beautiful day in Boise, Idaho, and this morning we are blessed to have Miss Lisa Biddick with us. Please give her a big hand.
Wake up and breathe in deeper than yesterday. Take on the morning like your soul's been remade. Roll down the windows, let your cares fly away. Good things are yours to claim, you don't have to wait. All across the sky, new mercies rise, and the future's bright. This is a new day, everything bursting with hope, coming alive. This moment, you got a freedom, no looking back anymore. Open your eyes, it's coming, this is a new day. The old has gone away, this is a new day. Don't let it slip away, Go on and reignite impossible dreams. Become the one you never thought you could be. All across the sky, new mercies rise, and the future's bright. Oh, this is a new day, everything bursting with hope, coming alive. This moment, you got a freedom, no looking back anymore. Open your eyes, it's coming, this is a new day. The old has gone away, this is a new day. Don't let it slip away, this is a new day. The old has gone away, this is a new day. Don't let it slip away, Love hasn't given up on you, love is making the old things new today and every single day. Love hasn't given up on you, oh yeah. 1, 2, 3. This is a new day, everything bursting with hope, coming alive. This moment, you've got a freedom, no looking back anymore. Open your eyes, it's coming, this is a new day. The old has gone away, this is a new day. Don't let it slip away, this is a new day. The old has gone away, this is a new day. Don't let it slip away, this is a new day.
Good morning. I'm Julia Bullock, your Board of Trustees President. I want to welcome our fantastic house band. We have Ted McClure on bass. We have Phil Bowden on drums. We have our fantastic leader, Rex Miller, on keyboard. And Lisa Biddick is our wonderful singer of the day. Lisa, where are you singing next?
I will be singing and playing with Musicians 3 this coming Sunday, next week, the 22nd, at Broadway on the Rocks in Albertsons. This is in the grocery store, but don't let that fool you because it's really cool. It's 3 to 6 on Sunday afternoon.
Great. So welcome to all of you out there in Zoom and online land, and welcome to all of you here. We have today Reverend Janine Seuss to thank for greeting. We have Rob Compton on our soundboard. We have Donna Sheedy, practitioner, on our videography. I think that's about it. So I turn it over to our practitioner of the day, Joe Hughes.
It's my honor to introduce Robert Hughes, who will light the world religion candles from the Christ candle. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. In lighting these candles, we honor the one family of humanity made up of over 4,000 religions and spiritual traditions throughout the world. We light the first candle for the Brazilian Yanomamo that recognize that every person, animal, plant, stone, mountain, and river, everything is abundantly imbued with spirit. It's basic that everything is of and from spirit. We light the second candle to honor Navajo spirituality, which teaches us to walk in harmony with all life and especially with each other. Navajo teachings of attunement, atonement, and return to balance lead to the art of living in beauty. We light the third candle for Australian Aboriginal spirituality, whose adherents spend as much as 30% of their lives in a state called the dream time, a deep meditative realization of and participation in the universal nature of spirit. We light the fourth candle for the ancient Hawaiian and Polynesian spirituality, knowing that we express the breath of God in every breath we breathe. God is in us and as us and through us. The fifth and final candle honors New Thought, which is rooted in the ancient spiritual awareness that God is all there is. God is love, one spirit, one harmony, one peace, and one love. Let us quiet our minds and open our hearts to the spiritual message being sung by Lisa Biddick.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There is love in the stillness of this moment. There is love. There is love, and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, I am love. I am love. In the stillness of this moment, I am love. I am love, and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I am love.
Please join me in prayer. As we sit here in this beautiful place, surrounded by this beautiful energy of love and peace, take a moment to recognize that one spirit, that one creative energy source, known by so many different names, but which I will call God. And knowing that this God, spirit, energy has created all that is and all that ever will be, surrounds us, moves through us, and manifests in all of its creation, so infinite that it is difficult for our finite human minds to comprehend. And that same spirit that made everything that is within me. At the very core of my being, it is me, and moves through me as me, another individual representation of spirit. And what I know for myself, I absolutely know for each and every person hearing this prayer here in this sanctuary or on Facebook Live, that this spirit is within each and every one of us. We are all completely united through this spirit and never separated from our source, never truly alone. And so from this place of unity, I bless this time that we are spending together, this service, knowing that it is so good to be together and to celebrate our oneness with Spirit. And I speak a special blessing for our speaker today, Ophelia Ramirez, as she brings forth a message that has been given to her to share with us this day. And so with great thanksgiving and gratitude, I release this, my word, into the law, knowing it is so. Aho, amen, and so it is.
Please welcome Ms. Lisa Biddick.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaken, but I gotta keep trying. I gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most. Just gotta keep on going, and I gotta be strong. Just keep There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb, yeah. Keep on moving, keep climbing, keep the faith, baby. It's all about the climb. Keep your faith, keep your faith. Oh.
Thank you, Lisa. So it's my great honor to introduce our guest speaker today. In addition to being a practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Ophelia is a certified personal and business coach, a certified Mindology fitness trainer, certified in sound healing, and a Reiki master. Although retired for 7 years, Ophelia enjoyed a long career in her business life. She was a property manager, worked various positions in the advertising business, managed a dental office, assisted patent attorneys in patent prosecution, managed an import company, and various other positions. Ophelia also has a Facebook page and an Instagram account called Act as One, where it actively encourages people to live from our shared humanity, from our connection of being one. Ophelia is passionate about bringing water to those who do not have access to clean water and is very active with 2 nonprofits, the Water Bearers and the Navajo Water Project, both very active in water issues. As a mother, grandmother, and yes, even a great-grandmother, Ophelia is equally passionate about climate change and taking care of our earth. In her spare time, Ophelia is busy reading, hiking, cooking, spending time with her family, and giving service to our center. Please welcome Ophelia Ramirez. Here she comes. Thank you.
Is this on? Okay, it is. Good morning. And I'm so happy to see you all here this morning, and all of you that are on Facebook, good morning to you as well. I'm going to start my talk this morning by sharing with you something that happened to me when I was a little girl. See, I was in 3rd grade, so I was probably about 8, maybe 9, but I'm thinking about 8 years old. I was in class one day, and someone came into the class and asked me to go to the principal's office. Well, that had never happened. I was a good girl, and I was surprised that I was being called to the principal's office. But I got up and I followed her, and she led me to a little bench that was outside the principal's office, and 2 of my sisters were there, 2 sisters that went to the same school that I went to. So myself and Ruby and Josie were sitting on this bench, and we were trying to figure out what was going on, because believe me, the Ramirez girls were good girls. We never got in trouble. And after a few moments, the principal came in, and he ushered us into his office. And who should be there but my mother? Well, you might not think that was a big deal, but the fact is that I had not seen my mother in a couple of years, a few years actually. So we were quite surprised to see her. We were a little timid, a little shy, and we had an okay visit with her. But she told us before she left that she was going to send a package for us. something for each of us girls. So we went home and we eagerly awaited this package. And sure enough, a couple of weeks later, the package came, and inside one big package were 3 little packages with each of our names on it. So I took the one that was mine, and I went to a little corner of our trailer to open it up by myself. Well, I opened it up, and my mother had sent 3 little T-shirts and 3 pairs of underwear. Remember when we were young, I don't know if kids still do this, but we used to wear little T-shirts under our clothes. And this little T-shirt was really lovely. It had a little lace and a little bow right in the middle. And oh my goodness, the underwear were new and had flowers on them. Well, I'm the youngest of 7 children, and I never got new underwear, so I was pretty excited about this. And so I was determined to wear my underwear to school the next day. There's a couple family members in the audience, and they're looking at me because they know how this is going to go. They've heard the story before. And so the next morning, I got up. Just a minute, I need some water. The next morning, I got up. I put on my little T-shirt, put on my underwear. They were too big. Because, you know, in those days, mamas always got clothes that you could grow into. And I was determined to wear them anyway. So I did. I wore them, and by the end of the day, I was so proud of myself because so many times I felt those little underwear creeping up, but each time my hand was swifter than gravity, and I pulled them back up again. Well, at the end of the day, we were all outside waiting for the bus to come, and there was a little boy with a stick. I don't remember what his name was, but he had this stick, and he was running around chasing everybody. All of the girls were screaming and having fun. I got so involved in what was going on that when I took a step forward, my underwear were at my ankles. I know, right? I was hoping nobody would notice, so I just took a step out of them and then kicked them out of the way, hoping no one would notice. Well, remember that little boy with the stick? He noticed. He got my underwear, and he was chasing everybody with my underwear. And as if that wasn't bad enough, he then realized, because my mother had put our name on the tag inside of the underwear in permanent ink so that when we washed them, we would know whose was whose. And so then he says, "Oh, these are Ophelia's underwear." Well, I was so embarrassed. And I remember I just put my head down. I tried not to listen to all the kids making fun of me. The bus came. I got on the bus, went to the back of the bus, tried to not listen to anyone, got out of the bus, ran home, and stayed home for 2 days. I didn't want to go back to school. I was embarrassed. But I did have to go back eventually, right? And fortunately for me, by the time I did go back, all of the kids had forgotten, and they had gone on to something else. True story. So my topic today is what happens to us happens for us. What happens to us happens for us. So how could this experience, that what truly was traumatic for me at the time, how could that have happened for me? How can a seemingly unpleasant occurrence be for our good? You know, when I first came into this philosophy, it's been about 12 years now, this is a question that I really struggled with. Why do bad things happen? Bad. I couldn't wrap around my mind that something that was unpleasant could actually be good. Well, in regard to the experience that I just shared, in retrospect, I actually did learn a lot from that experience. Among the things I learned is that, unpleasant experiences don't last. They come and they go. They're transitory. I learned that I'm stronger than I think I am. I learned that the experience was really not as bad as I had originally thought it was. And this experience taught me compassion for others and not to laugh and make fun of others' misfortunes. Now, please don't understand. I don't want to trivialize a truly horrific experience when I say a bad experience. Because really, when we use that word bad, there's a long spectrum, isn't it? From not so bad to horrific. But what if what was happening to us really was happening for us? You know, pain comes in different forms, doesn't it? We've all experienced pain at some level, and it comes in various manifestations. But here's the thing. We have a choice. We can continue to dwell and live in that negative emotional space, or we can acknowledge the pain as a fact and see the good that it may have created in our lives. Because really, if we're going to blame someone for the pain they caused, then we also need to blame them for all the good that came out of it as well. If we're going to give them some credit for everything that is so messed up, then we need to give them credit for everything that's great. They go hand in hand. So imagine if life wasn't happening to you, but it was actually happening for you. You know, even the most painful periods of our life happened. What if we thought, let me put it this way, what if we believed that even the most painful periods of our life happened for our good? It happened so that we could become who we are meant to be. Would that shift our perspective? How would it change our outlook? What would it do to the stories that we have built up about ourselves that either are tearing us down or even holding us back? Now, nothing can change the pain that we may have experienced in the past. People come into our lives and they may well hurt us. But in truth, I hope by the end of my talk, you'll see that they are here to serve us. They are here to tap into the persons we truly are. They have crossed our paths to help us become even greater of who we are. And they're here to help us become who we are meant to be. So my hope and intention this morning is to offer a few tools that will assist us in experiencing these experiences or these events in our lives from a new perspective. Who remembers a couple of years ago when Troy Byer came to the center and she spoke to us on that Sunday and also taught us about Mindology Fitness? Does anybody remember her coming? A few people, right? Well, if you remember when she spoke to us, she sprinkled throughout her talk about a truly horrific childhood that she experienced, and she kept sharing the phrase throughout her talk, "What happened to me happened for me." Well, now, while this was not a new concept for me, you know how sometimes when you're reading and a phrase just leaps off the page at you? Or someone says something and they say it in just the right way that you think, ah, yes, that's how I feel. Well, that's how that phrase affected me. It landed in me. It resonated with me at a very deep level. You know, like most of us, I had a strange and challenging childhood. And like most children, I did have a degree of resilience. But I also struggled with deep feelings of experiencing unworthiness, that I was not good enough. Can anybody relate to that one? Right? Yeah. It's a very common one, isn't it? And it comes to us in different ways. There's one pivotal moment in my life that I remember when that really got into my body, into my cells, when I really realized in that moment that I wasn't worthy. Remember when I said earlier that I had not seen my mother in a few years? That's because my father kidnapped us from her. And then shortly after she visited us, she kidnapped us from our father. Now, I loved my daddy. Oh, man. I thought that the sun rose and set in this man. And I knew that he would come for me. I knew that all I had to wait, and his 54 Mercury would be pulling up at any moment. And every day, I sat out on the porch, and I waited for my daddy to come for me. And I don't know how long I waited. It could have been weeks. It could have been months. At this point, I don't remember. But I do remember that at one point, I realized he was not coming. And in that moment, I said to myself, I am not worthy. I am not worthy of him coming for me. Just saying that, I kind of remember that moment. Yeah. And this feeling of being unworthy stayed with me for a good part of my life. And it wasn't until I came into this philosophy, as I said earlier, about 12 years ago, that I began to understand something that I had never thought of before. And that when I learned that we are all expressions of God, all expressions of the divine, I realized when I said, I'm not worthy, what I was really saying is God is not worthy. Think about that. If we are expressions of God, and if I say I'm not worthy, then what I'm really saying is God is not worthy. That was huge for me, huge. This subject of unworthiness is a topic that is related to my talk this morning, but really it deserves a talk of its own. So I'm not going to say much more about this feeling of unworthiness, but I wanted to share those experiences so you know that as I share the rest of the talk with you, that I have been able to view that in a whole different way now. So I'll leave this particular subject with a quote from Mona Sorma in her book, Soul, Food, and Instant Karma. I'm just going to read the last half of her quote because that's what's germane to what we're talking about now. And she says, "You certainly are not unworthy. You are beautiful. A flower with a petal yet unfurled does not lack in fragrance." Isn't that lovely? A flower with a petal still unfurled does not lack in fragrance. Okay, so how do we go from feeling helpless, feeling a victim from an event, and feeling that it is happening to us? How do we go to the fact that it might well be happening for us? Well, there's many ways to approach this, right? And one way that I'm going to share with you is to practice taking positive action and responding creatively to the situation. Taking care of our hearts, our minds and bodies is one way of taking positive action. Now, for many of us, that can be a bit of a challenge. We're not used to taking care of ourselves. But we can approach this as a muscle that just hasn't been exercised enough. Perhaps at first it could be a little hard to exercise that muscle, or maybe it'll be a little sore because we're not used to exercising it. But we will get stronger as we exercise it more. And as we get stronger, we begin to see that life and all the experiences are there for us and not against us. So I'm going to share a few exercises that have helped me with this thought, and I hope that they help you too. It's hot up here. How many have heard of the How many of you have heard of the Heart Math Institute? Anyone? Ooh, a couple people. Fabulous. Since 1991, the Heart Math Institute has been helping people reduce and avoid stress. The tools they offer are designed to increase peace, satisfaction, and enjoyment in our life. Research at the Heart Math Institute shows that adding heart to our daily activities and connections produces measurable benefits, not only for our own, but to others' well-being as well. They do fabulous work, and if you're interested in finding out more about them, they are at heartmath.org. That's heartmath.org. So do you know that the heart has more neurons than the brain? Isn't that crazy? The heart has more neurons than the brain, and the research that the Heart Math Institute has been doing since 1991 is showing that the heart may well be more intelligent than the brain. It's fascinating stuff. I really urge you to go to their website. I don't have time to go into all of their research, but it's a fascinating piece of information. So I'm going to show you one exercise now that is designed to get you into your heart. And it's a very simple one. In fact, I'm going to show you 3 exercises. They're all very simple, but don't be confused with that. They are all very powerful also. So the first one is, and if you want to join me, you can put your hand on your heart. And you, everyone out there in Facebook land, if you want to join me, I'd love to have you do that. Put your hand on your heart. Breathe in for a count of 5. And out for a count of 5. This begins to slow our heartbeat down just a bit. You go in for a count of 5 and out for a count of 5. And as you're doing that, imagine that your heart has a nose. I know that sounds kind of silly, but what you want to do is you want to breathe through your heart. And imagining that your heart has nostrils helps that. You breathe in for a count of 5 and exhale for a count of 5. Now, this seemingly simple exercise activates the intelligence of the heart, and it also interrupts anxiety. There's actually more information going from the heart to the brain than there is from the brain to the heart. Doing this exercise also activates the DHEA, that's the vitality hormone, and that is a hormone that affects our overall well-being. The research at the Heart Math Institute shows that the heart possesses a unique intelligence that can help us adjust to any change. Think about that. The heart possesses a unique intelligence that can help us adjust to any change. And when we access this intelligence, we have more clarity and power to quickly clear away unwanted thoughts, feelings, and adjust to change with confidence. Again, don't be confused with the simplicity of this exercise. It's a very powerful one. And remember, it's an easy one, and we always have our heart with us, right? So we can do it at any time. The next exercise I'm going to share with you is called a head hold. And this is another exercise that we can do anytime, anywhere. And what you do is you put one hand, either hand, doesn't matter, you put one hand on your forehead, and the opposite hand you put at the base, you put it at the base of your head. It's kind of hard to do that with this microphone too. So, okay, right, very good. And then just give it a gentle little squeeze. Just a gentle little squeeze. This exercise is powerful in diffusing negative emotions and processing emotional experiences and balancing the two hemispheres of the brain. The two parts of the brain that we're concerned with here are the amygdala, that helps to coordinate responses to things in our environment, and especially things that trigger an emotional response. And the other part is the frontal cortex, and that is usually considered to participate in higher level cognitive responses, and it's where we make decisions. So this exercise is actually balancing those two parts of the brain. Now, our brain is a highly sophisticated organ, and I'm simplifying these two areas right now for the purpose of this exercise. But you can think of your hands and arms as jumper cables, because whenever we touch our body with both of our hands, we actually create an energy circuit. And as you hold your head in this position, with one hand here at the front and one at the base of your skull, you'll also notice your body calming down. It is actually shifting, processing your thoughts, and reintegrating. This is something that can be done anytime, anywhere, under any circumstances. Again, this is a powerful technique used to diffuse negative emotions, processing emotional experiences, and balancing the two hemispheres of the brain. The last exercise I'm going to share with you, I see a lot of you are doing the exercises. It really makes me happy. And if you have anything that you want to share with me afterwards about doing the exercises, I would love to hear about it. Or if you're doing it at home on Facebook, if there's anything you want to share in the comments, that would be lovely. The last exercise I'm going to share with you is probably one that you've already heard of. It's a very common one, but it's a very effective one. And that is called finger holes. Our body is made up of upwards of 144,000 energy functions. There's more energy pathways. They're like rivers or meridians in our body, connecting the head to the toe and the toe to the head. And they all end up in our hands. So holding a finger helps these energy functions and helps to stabilize them, okay? It helps to stabilize them. So we hold the thumb, and again, it can be either hand. You're just going to hold your thumb, give it a squeeze, And we do this when we are experiencing grief, emotional pain, or feeling upset about anything. We want to hold our thumb. The index finger, we hold and squeeze when we feel fear, panic, or feeling scared. The middle finger, we hold when we're angry, when we're feeling very upset and resentful about something. The ring finger, we hold and squeeze for worry or anxiety. And the little pinky finger, we hold when we're having doubts, when we're not feeling good about ourselves or feeling bad, when we need a little oomph. Like before I came up here to start my talk, I was sitting in my chair holding my little finger. So these are 3 exercises. Breathing through our heart, the head hold, and the finger hold that are very effective in assisting us to become calm enough to understand the events of our life in a very positive light. Another way of saying what happens to us happens for us is what Dr. Michael Beckwith, founder of Agape International Spiritual Center in Los Angeles, famously said. And he said, pain pushes till our vision pools. Pain pushes what happens to us until vision pools. It's happening for us. I was going to talk a little bit more about that phrase of Michael Beckwith, but then I found a 2-minute clip on YouTube where he's explaining what he means by that. So I think he would be able to explain it better than I. So if we could just roll that clip, thank you.
That's one of my favorite statements is pain pushes until the vision pulls. So life is progressive.
You're good. You're good. You are a tweet a minute.
The universe is progressive.
Yeah.
And it's pushing you.
Yeah.
Until you get pulled by a larger vision. So once you have a vision that you can articulate.
Okay, so pain pushes you. So it's hard, it's harder, it's harder, it's harder, and it's trying to force you into having a vision
yes.
that's bigger than the pain.
And that's a principle. Potential is always bigger than the problem. Potential is always bigger than the problem. Your potential is infinite and is always bigger than whatever problem you're going through. So when you begin to have a vision.
Oh, this is good. I'm going to shout in a minute. This is good. This is really good. Amen. Good.
You begin to have a vision about the possibility. Mm-hmm. You start to be pulled by it. And then once you really sincerely embrace it,
yeah.
and your life begins to be, okay, when I wake up this morning, I'm going to walk in the direction of my purpose. I'm going to walk in the direction of my vision.
I'm going to walk in the direction of that possibility and the potential.
Yes.
Instead of allowing myself to go, oh, woe is me, or I can't believe, or
right.
I'm going to walk in the.
Right.
This is a good talk.
Then you're not pushed.
You can preach it. You can preach this. This will preach.
Oprah told me to preach this.
You should preach this. So you walk in the direction of the potential and the possibility instead of being stuck here.
Then you're not as pushed as much. The cosmic 2x4 doesn't need to hit you as much.
Wow.
You're pulled. You're being pulled more by joy, and it's like, I'm being pulled by something. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to have challenges.
Of course. Of course.
We're not praying to live a challenge-free life. We're praying that the challenges that come activate latent potential.
Isn't that lovely?
Hi, YouTubers.
Okay, so what he's saying here, which I think is just absolutely fabulous, he's saying that pain is signaling something within us that is wanting to express through us. Pain is there's something in us, there's a potential in us that is wanting to express through us. And as Michael Beckwith said in that clip, potential is always bigger than the problem. Right? Potential is bigger than the problem. When I think about experiences, and I just shared 2 brief experiences with you from my childhood, when I think about those experiences and the effect that they had on me and what I learned from them and what they pushed me to, the potential of that pain was much greater than the problem. So here's the thing. Pain pushes us, and it's going to push us forward or it's going to pull us back. It's our choice, right? It's our choice. So often we see somebody who is struggling for various reasons. Maybe there's an addiction they are trying to overcome. Maybe there's a way of life that they're leading that is no longer even working for them. Pain can take many different faces. But when we start to have a greater vision for our life, the pain starts to ease a little bit. The pain that has been pushing us all along gives way to the vision that then pulls us forward. That world of possibility then becomes our vision. It's that easy, it's that challenging, and it's that possible. So I hope that together we can all step into our greater yet to be, and to realize that what is happening to us is actually happening for us. Thank you. Now I would like to just invite us all to go within as Joe comes up, Joe Hughes, our practitioner, and offers a prayer.
So, as we take this moment in this service now to again recognize our source, this great spirit that we live and have our life in, that is surrounding us, that is love, that is peace, that is the joy of living, that beautiful potential that exists for all of us. And that same source that has made all and is in me, moving through me and manifesting as me. Just one more individual representation of this true living spirit. And what I know for myself, I know for each and every person listening, that we are all connected, that we are all one with our source, and we are never truly alone, but always with our source. And so from this place of unity, I speak my word now, knowing that many are struggling with different issues with their body temples, some with relationships. So much is happening in our world right now. But I also know that this spirit, this loving, peaceful spirit that made us all, is also a healing spirit, and that is moving in a divine right timing in bodies that need healing, in relationships that need healing, in our world as we struggle through this thing called a pandemic, knowing that Spirit is right here, directing and guiding and bringing about healing for our world in all its various hurts. So many things happening. But knowing the Spirit is here, knowing that Spirit is greater than anything that could possibly come from our minds or from this world around us. And it is with great gratitude then that I release my word into the law, knowing that it is done even as I speak. And so it is.
Well, I have been squeezing my finger, hugging my head, and I'm going to speak from my heart. I'm speaking to you as the president of the board of trustees. Your board has worked for the last year and a half at trimming budgets, cutting. We're a business, but we don't sell anything except a place for you to have a spiritual home and a spiritual message every week. We have, of course, all the maintenance stuff of a building, salaries, extra expenses of insurance, and all kinds of things. And we love all of you. Oh, we are so deeply grateful for all of you that during this year and a half of pandemic have continued to give, and some have dug deeper. But we are at an all-time low with contributions. And we just want you to know that we do thank all of you for what you're giving. And we ask if you can dig deeper for a nickel, a quarter. But we bless and honor all of you, and we are trying our hardest to keep us afloat. And I'm going to let Ophelia talk a little bit more about conscious giving. Thank you.
You know, conscious giving is really a time that we give back to the universe for what it has given us. Because as we give, so we receive, right? And it's really through this practice of consciously opening ourselves up to become a channel for Spirit in the world. And we bless those who have blessed us with our finances, with our donations, and with our offerings. This is not something we do out of a sense of obligation. It's something that we do consciously from an attitude of generosity and gratitude. So as JJ said, we gratefully accept all of your gifts that are going to the church, because not only does it sustain the church itself in the ways that JJ shared with us, but it also supports all the ministries that the church is involved in our community. I'm sure you know that every month the church gives 10% to a local nonprofit to help them in the good work that they are doing. So anytime that you make an offering to the church, not only are you supporting the church, but you're also doing good in the community as well. So we do have a lot of different ways that you can give. You can give online by going to cslboise.org. There is a link that says donate here. You can also do this through texting, which is what I do. I just set it up, and then automatically each month, my gift is automatically giving, so that is mobile texting. You can do it on person. You can do bill pay. That's what these envelopes here are. Those that have done an automatic bill pay. So there's many, many ways that you can give, and it's all outlined in this little pamphlet here. The other thing that I want to share with you is this little pamphlet, the prayer request. Practitioners in this church, as well as Reverend Jackie, love to pray for you and with you. So if there's anything that is in your life that might be a challenge that you would like to have prayer for, or perhaps things are going fabulous for you and you want that to continue, please fill one of these out, or again, you can go online. I have various ways that you can do that. You can go online at csl.org, and on the left-hand sidebar, there's a link that says Prayer Ministry. You click that, and it takes you to a prayer request form. You can also send an email at prayers@csl.org, or you can actually call too, and the number for that is 208-375-0791, and I believe that Donna is putting all this information on the Facebook feed right now. So again, we love to pray, and any prayer that we receive, all the practitioners and Reverend Jackie pray for 30 days. So going back to our conscious giving time, as you're preparing your gift, let us take our gift in our hand as together we say, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is. And now, once again, here's Lisa Biddick and our CSL House Band.
Think about it, there must be higher love down in the heart or hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is wasted time. Look inside your heart, I'll look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere in this whole world. What is fair? We walk the line and we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love I keep thinking of? Worlds are turning and we're just hanging on, facing our fear and standing out there alone. A yearning, and it's real to me. There must be someone who's feeling for me. Things look so bad everywhere in this whole world. What is fair? We walk the line and we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love I've been thinking of? I will wait too late for it. Until then, I sing my song to cheer the night along. Oh, bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. It's a higher love I've been thinking of. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. It's that higher love I've been thinking of.
Please stand for your blessing. Oh, you are all so bright, shining stars. Please go out and share your shine wherever you go, with whoever you meet, and remember you are so loved. Have a blessed week.
Thank you.